welcome to the latest edition of Explore Richland. I'm your host, Mark Ingham. Well, today we are out exploring where reflective vests and hard hats are must-wear attire. That's right, we've brought you to the middle of the Wright Avenue Street Road Reconstruction Project. And as you can see, there is a lot happening behind me. The tractors are moving, and to make sense of it all, we've invited Richland project engineer Sheldon Williamson to the program. Sheldon, thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
And now, Sheldon, in mid-August, construction began on the Wright Avenue Reconstruction Project. And share with our viewers what a full road reconstruction is.
So a full road reconstruction is where we remove all the existing asphalt, all the rock, and go back to native ground so we can build back up a brand new road. In this case, we took out all the material and we're down to native sand and dirt, and we're going to add 6 inches of base course and 2 inches of top course, and on top of that, 2 inches of brand new asphalt. So we'll have a brand new road out here.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I wanted to ask you, how common are road reconstruction projects? Is this something that the city will do 1, 2, 3 times a year?
Well, so a road reconstruction project is the most expensive, of course, way to do pavement preservation, and it's one of the types of pavement preservations that we do. I would say, on average, we probably do 1 stretch of road like this in a full reconstruction, but we also have other techniques, including microsurfacing and slurry, and even our streets guys do residential overlays. So there are different types of things that we do.
That's perfect, and I'm glad you brought up those alternative methods, because I wanted to talk about the City of Richland's pavement preservation program. And I understand back in 2013, the City of Richland evaluated the condition of all of their streets and began implementing the pavement preservation program. So Sheldon, what does this program look like, and what has it allowed us to do?
Well, so you're correct. In 2013, we evaluated all the roads, and we're actually doing that in a periodic sequence so we can re-evaluate to make our database more accurate, so we can choose which roads need what type of treatment. Some of the roads only need slurry because that's the cheapest way to treat a road, which are your residential roads, all the way to this reconstruction project, which is, like I said, a full depth, completely overhaul the whole road, because the road's just past what you can really do with things.
And is the idea with microsurfacing and slurry seals to treat a road before we have to get to this?
Exactly. That's the whole thing. And so if you can treat the road early enough that you can do a cheaper method multiple times before you have to get to an extreme and rip up the road. The other advantage of some of the other techniques, they're not as intensive for traffic and disruption. I mean, as you can see here, the road is pretty much, there's no traffic on the road right at the moment because it's all ripped up. And these other techniques are a lot faster and more efficient at that.
And one thing I always find interesting about when I come out to these extensive road projects is kind of the mix of contract work and city work. And I was wondering if you could break down a little bit about what the contractor's in charge of and what our city crews are able to do.
So in this case right here, our city crews are redoing the ADA ramps. And so they're going through and making the ADA ramps up to current standards. And out here, there's 14 of them that our city guys are doing, and they're down the street a little ways. The contractor is not responsible for it on this project. Depending on the project, sometimes it's the streets guys doing it, sometimes it's the contractor doing it. But on these type of things, we do update the ADA ramps to get those up to current standards.
Perfect. And in addition to the road construction project, I understand that down a little ways, we're also doing some things with some underground utilities. Can you maybe just talk a little about some of that work?
Correct. So when we do these full reconstruct project, we kind of do an inventory of the existing utilities. So we take a look at the water mains and the water services and the sewer. Some of it had already been done in prior years, so we didn't have to do that. At the far end, we did some water services. So the intent, of course, is so you have new services so they won't leak and you want to tear up a brand new road. So in this case, we did a little bit of that, not too much, but we had to do that, and that's very typical on these projects because we want to keep these roads. I mean, we want this road to last a long, long time without having to cut it open.
Perfect. Well, lastly, Sheldon, I'm just curious, what is the timeline for this project? When will it be completed? And are there some closures that residents need to be aware of?
Well, as you can see, the road is basically closed to through traffic. I mean, if you live down here, of course, they'll make sure you can get in. At the end of the day, there's always at least gravel road to drive on. Currently, the schedule is mid-September. They should be paving, and everything should be wrapped up by the end of September.
Well, that's great. Well, fantastic. And of course, if you have more questions regarding the Wright Avenue Reconstruction Project, the Pavement Preservation Program, or any capital projects that are happening within the City of Richland, visit the web link at the bottom of the screen. And of course, once you're there, click on Departments, and then finally, Public Works. I would also like to thank Sheldon Williamson for coming on the program and educating us. We appreciate that. And then remember, if you're not interacting with the City of Richland on our social media accounts, I strongly encourage you to log on and give us a like on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. We're always sharing all kinds of important information on our social media platforms. Well, I should have brought a lawn chair because this work going on right here is truly fascinating. I'd love to just camp out and watch these guys work. Well, thanks for joining me on this edition of Explore Richland. I'm Mark Ingham.